This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Right, okay, you saw a furore, a cacophony of sponsored videos on the Katana stuff yesterday. I unfortunately wasn't involved, but that doesn't mean I'm bitter. I do quite a lot of work with Boss, on and off. And I will be involved, if I don't say the wrong thing, in some of the stuff to come. However, I was kind of intrigued. I will say I do feel like anyone who was sceptical of the Katana in general, I think is going to remain so. It's not necessarily the most game-changing update from my point of view, as someone who's already had a Katana and that sort of stuff. However, I was interested mostly in this new push setting. I left it a little bit late actually to watch some videos on this. That kind of the updates are, we've got a stereo out here, which is significant. This is across the range, USB-C across the range, and the new pushed amp, which is what I'm going to focus on today really. But annoyingly, and I then watched Guitar Geek Andy, this, which I think is really the key to unlocking the Katana series in general, is not available on the 50 combo, and that's a bit of a shame. Also, the bloom feature that people were talking about is in the power amp section, is only available on the models with the grey grille, the artist, the Katana head, and the Katana artist head. So it's a little bit of a mixed sort of update, you know. Different Katanas are getting different things, but I wanted to check out the push setting, check out the stereo output. Another downside with the Katana 50, if you plug into that stereo out, you actually lose any audio out of the front of the Katana. Now, that is a point of differentiation between this and the models up the range. It's the sort of thing that I feel like is a bit of a cynical choice in some ways. So the further you go up the range, you get more things like the foot switch capability, you get the line out, you also get an XLR out the further up you go, and you then get additional knobs on the top. Most of the features you can access in the tone editor itself, so yeah, but I think 50X is the one that's going to come out that will basically bring in this format some of those extra features that you might be missing from the 50, but otherwise, for me, I feel like the head is the preferred format for me, particularly because I think one of the secrets to getting better tone out of a Katana is to pair it with a high quality cab and speaker, in my opinion and my experience. Having said all that and thinking that maybe I've ordered the wrong thing, let's check out the pushed model in max volume mode. The other thing is that with the 50 you only have 2 channels in the panel, whereas on the other models you've got 4, which is a significant, you know, double the amount. You also don't have a presence knob on the Katana 50, but that is accessible within the tone editor. Okay, if I crank the bass, we'll crank again. That is really quite nice, actually. Okay, well let's just, I'm really liking that push. If I jump across to, say, the brown channel, let's see if this is much difference. I got the master kind of up halfway there. I'm going to take it down a bit. So that's brown. I think I'd need to EQ that. Here's lead. And the non-variation. Here's crunch. Well, back to lead. Crunch. Variation. And clean on the normal. So, in general, it doesn't sound to me like loads has changed. This doesn't chuck out that much bass, is what I'm noticing there. So I would probably go into the editor and maybe sort of balance things up for my preferences to take out some of the high end. Although on that pushed setting, I think it's sitting a bit better for me. The variation. So maybe if I save that to channel 2, channel 1, I think I probably want the same thing, to be honest with you. So we go back to gain down a bit for channel 1, and then for channel 2. If we kick on a booster, obviously like this is just from the panel. In the editor, kind of a bit brittle there in top end without getting into the editor. Kick on a bit of delay. I just want to check out the into the headphone output, which I think now is stereo. And then it's got clearly a lot more. So for me, I feel like you can get into the editor and change loads of the stuff, and I think for me that is what's great about the Boss Katana stuff. If you're willing to get in there to the editor and kind of have a little bit of a tweak around, there's EQ in here which does distinguish it from the Line 6 Catalyst, in that if you know, get in there and do some editing, you can get some really great tones out of this. I really like that new pushed model. The question for me would be kind of, is there anything in there that, if you weren't already convinced that Katana might be something worth trying, is there anything about the Generation 3 that is going to change your mind? For me, I guess the answer, I think, is probably no. I think those that already like the Katana, which in itself is a bit of a polarizing product, I think, because you see people that really praise the Katana, you see people that are very quick to say it's digital trash. I think it's somewhere in between those. I think you can get a lot of great stuff out of the Katana, but it's going to take a little bit of work potentially. That's my opinion on it. Anyway, let other folks know yours in the comments. I think I'm going to possibly be on the list for demoing the head version. I think that's the best form of the Katana head, which has a little inbuilt 5-watt speaker, which makes it kind of an ideal practice rig, but also then you can plug it into a cabinet, and it is my suspicion that the speakers and the cabinet of the Katana are part of the equation of what maybe can hold it back for some people. Plugged into a Mesa Boogie EVM 12, I really like the sound of these things in the room. It's not to say you can't get decent stuff out of the cab itself, but I think you get levels above it. So yeah, stereo out now. A new push thing is the main kind of headlines for me, as well as there's this Bluetooth capability if you buy it. So yeah. What do you reckon? I think that's what people are enjoying about it. It's the Generation 3. Of course, you've mostly seen sponsored videos by this point. Is it hugely different to what came before? Probably not. Let me know your thoughts.